Please stand for pledge to our flag and remain standing for a moment of silence for all our military personnel serving here in the borough. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on December 10th, 2021, was posted on the municipal bulletin board and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilman Small. Councilwoman McAuliffe.
Here.
Vice President Ficara. And President Bauer.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from September 6, 2022?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We're going to begin tonight with resolutions 1 and 2. Going to take them both together. This is a public hearing on both the Main Street Special Improvement District and the Oak Tree Road Special Improvement District. This is their annual budgets. With that said, can I get a motion to open the public hearing on both of these budgets at this time?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on numbers 1 and 2, 1 and 2 only. Again, these are the Special Improvement District budgets. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed and both district budgets be approved?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances, the first one is an ordinance amending Chapter 11 entitled Animal Control. This is the regards with licensings of cats. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Second one is letter B, which is listed to add handicap parking on Loretta Street, Chapter 7 of the revised ordinances. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I'm going to take C and D by consent. The first letter C is an ordinance authorizing the acquisition by purchase or eminent domain of property known as 525 Gusper Avenue in Woodbridge, and the second is authorizing the acquisition by donation of real property in the Colonia section of Woodbridge. C and D, can I get a motion that we take up both of these ordinances on second and third reading and open the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters C and D only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed and both ordinances be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter E is an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of property known as tax block 1079.15 lot 11 in the Port Reading section. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter E only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter F, an ordinance, adopting the amended Port Reading Avenue redevelopment plan. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter F only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter G, an ordinance adopting Area 1 redevelopment plan. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter G only. Woodbridge Center Mall Area 1. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter H is an ordinance approving the application for a long-term tax exemption for 106 Main Street, Woodbridge. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Excuse me, I'm going to abstain from that, thank you.
Sure. Any other opposed, right? Okay, the public hearing is now open on letter H only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted to the, and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Just the one abstention. Letter I, an ordinance approving the application for a long-term tax exemption for the Amernath property in Fords. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter I only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter J is an ordinance regulating the operation of cannabis businesses and the consumption of cannabis within the township borders. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up at second, third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter J only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter K, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition by donation from the Turnpike Authority for property located in Fords. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll take letters L, M, N, and O as first reading ordinances. Can I get a motion that these ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on October 7, 2022, with notice of public hearing to be held on October 18, 2022 at 6 p.m.?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And then, Mr. President, we'll take resolutions 3 through 29 as consent. Can I get a motion to approve 3 through 29?
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mayor, I'll be abstaining from number 29.
So noted. Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. This time we'll go to the public portion of our meeting. Approaching the mic, please state your name, part of the township or state you are from. You have a one-time 5-minute time period. All video taking must be taken within a designated area in the rear of the room. There'll be no shouting out from your seats. Please respect each other, and please make sure all signs and posters do not block walkway aisleways. Thank you.
Yeah.
Scott Dorris, Woodbridge Proper, apologize. I don't know if this is no disrespect. Good evening. I'm here to discuss our budget and use of, potential misuse of titles. Before I go further, let me to restate my positions. I'm not here on behalf of any political interests. I am nonpartisan. I am registered unaffiliated and have voted for Democrats and Republicans. I am not running for any office. I'm not even against the use of piles. Make that really clear. I hope to bang all those objections out right off the bat. I hope to partner with the mayor and the city council to grow Woodbridge to a bright place based on lessons I've learned during my time in Jersey City. First off, when they go to explanations that people watching this happen, what are tax abatements? Tax abatements for local pilots are essentially tax rates the city grants to developers. Why are they used? Tax abatements are regulated by the state with the original purpose of restoring blighted areas. However, in the early 90s, the state changed the threshold from blighted area to areas in need of development. And that's when the feeding frenzy began in Jersey City. Typical property taxes split the money between the city, the county, the school system. In our area, Denison Road gets about 60% of state taxes go to schools. Abatements or pilots, 95% of the pilot money goes to the municipality, 5% to the county, 0 to the schools. The terms of the pilots can be anywhere from 5 to 30 years. There are a lot more parts to this. But I'm limited on time, so let's go to a real world example in Woodbridge. Credits to Mayor and Rich Judah for sending me the data for my analysis, and the problems will start to become apparent. I've reviewed a pilot agreement for the old Hess building site right across from Gagnon, the massive mill development. There's 3 main problems. Problem 1, this property received a 30-year abatement, which should be in theory restored for blighted areas. Problem 2, in year 1, the property received a roughly 55% reduction in taxes, after which the schedule of growth, percentage of gross revenue grows. This means we're only expecting to collect about $800,000 to $900,000 in total in year 1, as opposed to the $2 million if we're standard property taxes. But the objection is the $900,000 is still more than the $300,000 that we collected on the open lot. No doubt, true. That is the response you say to someone who is against the use of pilots and against development. I am not. I am for development. But I argue we're giving away way too much, and even on some of the ones I saw in there, I'm clearly late to the game on the agenda. This means that the city gets to spend all of the $900,000 with nothing going to the schools. Without a pilot, the city would only get about $500,000 of the $2 million, and the school would get $1.2 million. Contrary to how these deals are sold to us, this building will have hundreds of units, many of whom will have families, or even some that have families with kids, that will attend our schools. And as a result, the school district will raise taxes quicker to accommodate this growth. Guess who pays for all that? All the non-abated property tax owners. And this is just one development. Problem 3, over that same 30-year period of the pilot, the city expects to collect in total $49 million, with 0 going to the schools. Without a pilot, the city would have collected $81 million, of which about $48 million would have gone just to the schools. Bonus problem, we sell the fact that our municipal taxes stayed flat this year as a victory, whereas I would argue we should be getting significant relief given the number of pilot buildings coming online. We also leave out the part where the total tax bill will essentially rise faster over time, because only non-abated buildings are covering the school tax increases. You're right, pilots don't hurt schools. They're going to get their money by raising their taxes. It's us, regular property tax owners, that are hurt by paying for all the school increases. Not a single one of these abated buildings. Another objection, if we don't give the abatements, the developers won't come. They said the exact same thing in Jersey City. So let's spoke out, we limited the pilots to 5 years or not at all. And guess what happened? The developers still came in droves, even to the most blighted, gunshot-filled areas. Side note, I am reaching out to groups like New Jersey Policy Perspective, as they rendered very qualified public opinions on how Jersey City should be using their pilots. My suggestion is going forward. Only grant abatements in the truly blighted areas, or limit them to 5 years in the blighted areas, and 10 in the blighted areas, and 5 in places like this area. Open the process for granting abatements to the public. Limit the percentage of the municipality's revenue that can come from the abatements so that we don't become so reliant on it. And last but most importantly, pass an objection. This council should pass an objection to bar elected officials from granting abatements to developers who have contributed to their campaigns. I'm going to be sending an email to the group to set up a Zoom call so that we can discuss this in more depth. I would like your opinions on what I just said.
Any other comments from the?
Mayor, you have any comments?
I'll wait till the end of the public session,
Okay.
Council President.
Thank you.
Good evening, James Nebraska, Woodbridge Proper. I wasn't going to be able to make it here. I apologize for the long prepared tonight, but I just want to speak a few things that have been on my mind lately. First of all, the Perth Amboy Area Branch NAACP would like to shout out the Sayreville Council, who was the most recent community to pass a resolution in opposition to yet another toxic fossil fuel power plant here in Woodbridge Township. Of course, that's the KSB power plant, which is going to be built right next to an existing fossil fuel power plant in KSB. That, the one that's already existing in Seymour, would make 3 fossil fuel power plants here in Woodbridge, which has been identified as an overburdened environmental justice community under New Jersey's landmark environmental justice law. It was refreshing to see the council. This was the first council that didn't pass it unanimously. They passed it 4-2 in a bipartisan effort. And I want to personally thank the mayor, Victoria Kilpatrick, who led that effort. It took months and months to get it through, but she got it through. The Environmental Commission, Sayreville Environmental Commission, had recommended that they do it months ago, and they had a few council members on there who were trying to table it. She finally said, no more, let's get this done. This is to protect our community from pollution. Pollution does not just stay within the lines drawn on a map. Okay, that's not how air pollution works. So I want to shout out all the communities thus far: Perth Amboy, Franklin, Hoboken, who else? Highland Park, I'm trying to think of the 5th one, but 5 communities so far have passed it, and now Sayreville too. And that mayor, Victoria Kilpatrick, great job by her. I'm just wondering, do you have any thoughts? Oh, the mayor of Sayreville personally called out. She said, Mayor Mack over in Woodbridge, of course he wants to make his town a lot of money. I was wondering if the mayor was aware of this and if he had any thoughts about that comment from the Sayreville mayor.
Mayor, you have any comment?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I figured that much. I think what I want to say, that was brave of her to say that here in Middlesex County. Last month I was here. I'd asked the mayor if he was going to follow up. He told the Woodbridge Patch newspaper that he was going to issue a statement, quote unquote, next week about the Islamophobic bulldozer. It's been a month. Is the mayor ready to issue a statement about the bulldozer?
Mayor, do you have a comment?
I made the statements I needed to make to the people I needed to make it to. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you.
Can you ask what that means? The public is not the people he needs to make it to.
Mayor, would you like to?
No, thank you.
Who are the people that needed to hear a statement that doesn't include the public? Can you ask him why not the public? Why can't he?
He said he had no comment.
Wow, that's a shame. That's not very mayoral, that's not professional. So a private comment to those who needed to hear it, but not to the public. About a hateful Islamophobic bullet. Did he issue a statement in private about the Proud Boys coming here that we weren't aware of too? Can you ask him if there was a statement made about Proud Boys in private that we just weren't allowed to hear as members of the public?
I think, Mr. Mayor, do you have any comments?
No, thank you.
Nothing about the Proud Boys out there. Indigenous Peoples Day, coming up Monday, October 10th. It was finally recognized, observed by our President Joe Biden last year for the first time. It's going to be observed this year. Is Woodbridge getting on board with Indigenous Peoples Day this year?
Do we have anything on that?
No, sir.
So the answer is no. No Indigenous Peoples Day being recognized by Woodbridge Township. Am I correct?
We have no comment. Thank you.
Say we have no comment, the lawyer whispers to me. Wow, and that's the shit. You know what was great about Sayreville? It would have been great to get a unanimous vote, but 4-2 shows democracy, shows disagreement. You never see that here. You never see that in Woodbridge. Not on the Board of Ed, not here, not anywhere. Because the mayor puts in his yes people all along the board, and it's not right. That's why I'm so proud of the mayor of Sayreville. She knows this. She knows how much political power he has in Middlesex County and the state of New Jersey. He's got the state assembly speaker here as his attorney. So it takes a lot of guts to challenge Mayor McCormick, and kudos to her for doing that. I wish somebody up here would do that for once. It would be very refreshing. But they won't. And that's sad. And we're going to remember that. The mayor's not going to be here forever. And when he's gone, one of you want to step up, we're going to say, oh, is it going to be the same thing again? You put up your yes people and everybody just does what you said? Because that's what you all did. I mean, even with the Woodbridge Democratic Committee headed by Mr. Coughlin's wife, when it was time to replace the late Nancy Drum with a new person, they nominated 3 white people. Sharon McAuliffe, no disrespect to her, I think she's doing a great job, and Jay Barcelona and Robert Winkler. And that, mind you, these are 2 guys who were running for the fire commission on the mayor's ticket. So he just wanted to, they knew they were going to vote Sharon, they just wanted to get their names out there, some free publicity. But what about diversity? Like, only 3 white people, that's the best Woodbridge can do? We can do better than that, we gotta do better than that.
Thank you, Mr. Zabrowski.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion, with seeing nobody else in the room, can I get a motion to close the public comment portion?
Motion.
Second.
In favor, aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. I'm sorry? After the public comments, yes. Mr. Ray.
Would you like to comment this time, Mayor?
Sure. So first, Mr. Gorich said that the law changed that areas did not have to be blighted. He's right. They didn't have to be areas need redevelopment. And then he chastised us for giving the pilots to areas that were blighted. Blighted is no longer in a term that's used. So we can't be blamed for giving pilots to places that are not blighted because it's no longer a criteria. Area in need of redevelopment. Attorneys look every time we have a pilot agreement in question or in play to be considered by the council. The attorneys look at it and make the determination that it does, or we wouldn't present it to the council. The S project is not 55% of actual taxes. There's a whole timing difference that has to be accounted for. The taxes on the project, you don't have the floor. You can't talk anymore.
Excuse me. You're not comment from the public portion. Listen.
I didn't finish yet. How can you say I'm
Excuse me.
misrepresenting it? I didn't finish
The
yet.
public portion is closed. You wanted an answer, he's going to give you an answer. You can't debate them at this time. Thank you.
The project, if the number's 2 million, I believe it. I don't know what the number is when it's fully developed. But if it is, it takes a long time for the pilot to ramp up because you don't start with a fully leased apartment building. They build the buildings, they rent them out, and then they build the next one when they have the first ones rented. So it will take a long time for the true pilot number to get to the full amount that we can expect when all the buildings are filled and all the buildings are rented. And when that happens, the amount will be probably between 80 and 90% of the $2 million. So it might be 55% today. I know for a fact the 6th building isn't built yet. I think the 4th and 5th are certainly not filled yet. So when you look right now, we're not going to be anywhere near the full taxes that we're going to get from the pilot, which is less than we're going to get from regular taxation. So the 55% number right now means absolutely nothing. Every apartment complex starts and pays the taxes based on rents, and it takes rents a couple of years to ramp up to where there's full occupancy. So the 55% number that he quoted is entirely meaningless. Schools are not impacted by, let me explain that when there's a pilot, schools are not hurt. Schools calculate the amount of money they need in taxation, and they pass their budget, and it gets approved by the state, and they send that to the town, and the town bills residents for exactly what they need. The fact that we give a pilot has no bearing on any of that. If something is taxed at regular taxation, it does not impact the amount of money the schools get. The schools get what they need. So when somebody says the taxes on this project would be $600,000 to the schools, that doesn't go to the schools on top of what they already get. That just goes into the pot that they need, and the tax rates change when the tax base changes, but the schools are never hurt by a pilot because whatever they need, they get. He also said that the schools could use this money. We have $8 million in this budget that goes directly to the schools. $8 million between the two referendums that were passed in 2017 and 2020, which we pay 100% of the cost of. And there are millions of dollars worth of projects that we did before the referenda, like the athletic fields and the courts and the tracks and the gyms and the auditoriums. We did all that work, millions and millions of dollars worth. That goes in we issued those bonds and we pay those bonds, and that's in our debt service number along with our roads and our sewers and our parks and all that. So when you put that all together, there's close to $8 million that we have in this budget that we are paying on behalf of the school district. So nobody can say that zero goes to the schools, which is what Mr. Gorich said, that zero goes to the schools. Not $8 million is not zero. We pay that debt service according to an agreement over the 30-year life of the bonds that they issued. So if they don't pay it, we do. I don't think any other town in the state could come close to that. So once again, property taxes are not impacted when we have a pilot. We have $22 million in pilots in this budget. $22 million. That's not insignificant. That's $525 for every house in Woodbridge Township. If that money wasn't there, that's approximately what the tax increase would be, or not an increase, it wouldn't all go up at once because the pilots have been coming in since 1999. So you'd have to go back and recreate the whole thing to see what the exact amount each year would have been. But the bottom line is 22 million in pilots in this budget, which by the way was a zero tax increase, which we're very happy with and proud of, a zero tax increase in the municipal budget. And the school board had one of the lowest increases they've had in a long, long time. They're getting good state aid now thanks to our legislature. Pilots are 22 million. In 3 years it'll be about 30 million, and then it'll be $700 a house. So to come up here and criticize pilots when you don't understand the full impact of them, they have been amazing for this town's budget, and we can do so much because, as Mr. Goritz said, we get that money directly. We still get the amount we need from taxation. We get this separately, and we can do things outside of the cap. We're not limited to how much we can make. We're limited to how much we can raise taxes by every year. We're not limited by how much we can raise pilots by every year. We're limited by how much we can spend, but when we spend it on debt service, we're not limited. So we can do all these things for the benefit of the town, like roads and libraries and schools. We can do all that with pilot money. They are amazing for this town. And they're the reason we have a $30 million surplus, which is ridiculously high, and they're the reason why we have a zero tax increase budget, because of pilots. We go through this over and over again, and there are explanations, which I told Mr. Goritz, you can read on our website, is exactly how pilots work and why they're good. Zero tax increase, $22 million in pilots, $525 a house. I'm okay with that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. This time we'll go to our agendas. Item number 7, Forest Hopewell KB Fire Companies. Fire Prevention Week will start this Monday, October 10th. Hopewell Fire Department open house will be Wednesday, October 12th from 5 to 9 p.m. Meet your firefighters, see their apparatus, free refreshments, and you're located at 127 Loretta Street in Hopewell. Forts Fire Company's open house will be Monday, October 10th and Tuesday, October 11th from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at 667 King George Road in Fords. I have 2 announcements. The Barron Arts Center Fall Lecture, Halloween, A Haunted History. Lecture will be presented live at the Barron Arts Center on Thursday, October 13th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. Seating is limited to allow for social distancing. Reservations are essential. Call 732-634-0413. And our last jazz concert of the year will be Thursday, October 6th, the LAO Tizer Quartet, 7 p.m. at the Woodbridge High School. Did you see some of us are wearing pink tonight at our meeting? October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an annual campaign to raise awareness about breast cancer, to raise funds for research into the cause, prevention, diagnosis, treatments, and cure. Please keep all those who are suffering from any ailments in your thoughts and prayers. That's all I have. Council Vice President Vaquero's excused tonight. Councilman Small's excused. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. Just have a few announcements. Item number 5, Police Community Relations on Monday, October 10th from 11 to 2 p.m. here in front of our Town Hall. Faith and Blue, Woodbridge Police Department will host a drive and drop food drive. Again, that is Monday, October 10th from 11 to 2 p.m. Please come support our police department as they do a drive and drop food drive, and all the food that they collect will help our families here in Woodbridge Township. And again, the date and the time is Monday, October 10th from 11 to 2 p.m. here at 1 Main Street, Faith and Blue, Woodbridge Police Department's drive and drop food drive. Please come support our police department. Item number 8, the Hispanic Heritage Month will be done October 15th, but I'm happy to say that we celebrated it on Saturday, September 17th here on Main Street, and it was a fantastic event. I was really happy with the outcome and everyone that showed up, the music, the food, it was just fantastic. I would like to thank the mayor, the administration for their support, and I would especially like to thank Eileen Caggiano and Brian Molnar from the Recreation Department for their help in planning this event. Director Brew and your staff for their ingenious flag stands and all of their help with the setup and the takedown. The Woodbridge Police Department for their support and help with the setup. The Health Department, the Youth Services, the Woodbridge Public Libraries, and everyone that participated. Remember, we are still celebrating Hispanic Heritage until October 15th. And then I have item number 9, the Barron Art Center is hosting Barron Fest this Saturday from 12 to 4:30 p.m. is their Fine and Crafts Fair. Again, it's this Saturday from 12 to 4:30 p.m. at the Acacia Youth Center, which is 95 Port Reading Avenue. Again, Saturday, if you want to start your Christmas shopping early, visit the Barron Fest. That is all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President Bauer. I'm going to start with Councilman Small's few items that he gave me. Port Reading Day, which was scheduled for this coming Saturday, has been postponed. They're going to tie that in with their tree lighting in December. More details to follow. Port Reading First Aid Squad, Port Reading Volunteer Fire Company, and Port Reading Fire Department. Save the date, the Port Reading First Aid Squad, Port Reading Fire Company, and Port Reading Fire Department will be having its annual trunk or treat on Tuesday, October 25th from 6 to 7:30. Always a fun event. Bring an unwrapped toy that will be given to families in need during Christmas. Again, that is Tuesday, October 25th at Port Reading Fire and First Aid Squad. And this week's football game between two teams, as soon as it pops up, I think it's Kennedy, right? Woodbridge Kennedy is now scheduled for 6 p.m. On to my agenda. The Avenel Fire Department will be hosting its annual open house for Fire Prevention Week on Saturday, October 15th from 10 to 1 at the firehouse located at 346 Avenel Street. Please join us and see Sparky, have the children go through the smoke trailer, see all of our vendors such as Domestic Violence Response Team, Community Policing, have the children go out on all the fire trucks and much more. This is a rain or shine event and always has been a great turnout. Refreshments will be served. Item number 12. I'd just like to give an update on the School 4 and 5 project. The referendum, which included the funding for a new School 4 and 5 to be located on Broadway Avenue, passed on March 10th, 2020. Unfortunately, a few days later, the pandemic changed all of our lives. Obviously, all projects were put on hold for a period of time. Due to the pandemic and rising costs due to inflation, it is estimated that the cost of the project would need to be adjusted by adding at least $15 million in revenue to the original financial figures. We don't feel comfortable asking our residents to pass another referendum for the additional spending. The school district will now look to build a new School 4 and complete renovation to School 5 using the remaining funds from the referendum. The construction can be accomplished with minimal disruption to the existing school as the parking lot has sufficient room for the expansion. We appreciate the support of our residents for the 2020 referendum, but we cannot justify spending upwards of $50 million on a new elementary school and asking for your support for this new project. As excited as everyone was for a new School 4 and 5 elementary school, the new Avenel Elementary School on Broadway Avenue, the design, the specs came out great. Just like everything else in life with the economy, everything is getting raised, and they anticipate, like I said, 15. It could be even more by the time shovels hit the ground, but I'm equally as excited for the prospects of the new School 4 and 5. So it's going to be kind of a mix between what the school district did at Ross Street and Woodbridge Middle School. And the time frame will be a lot sooner doing that than a new school. So I want to thank everybody for their support. The rest of my agenda is in order, Council President. Thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, and all of our public workers and township employees. God bless America. Thank you.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. Just have a few things going down to number 4 for events. On October 15, we'll be holding our 6th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk down Inman Avenue at noon, leaving from Colonia Middle School. The walk is in memory of Colonia resident Joanne Walker and in support of Karen Brock. Joanne lost her battle with breast cancer over the summer, and Karen Brock has been bravely battling cancer for quite some time. The walk is $10 per person, and registration begins at Colonia Middle School at 11:15. If you have a large group and would like to pre-register, you can call me at 732-382-0273. The breast cancer walk will proceed down Inman Avenue to Springwood Swim Club, where after the breast cancer walk, we will be holding our first annual charity Oktoberfest. There will be activities for the kids, pumpkin painting, face painters, police department, fire department, a wine tasting and beer garden sponsored by Joe Canals and the New Woodbridge Brewery, which is $25 a person. There'll also be hamburgers, hot dogs, bratwurst, zeppelis, hot pretzels, soft drinks, all for additional costs. We'll have live music by Revolver and plenty of gift baskets. This will be a great community event, and all proceeds from this event will be donated to 13-year-old Savannah Bono of Colonia to buy an adapted bicycle to help her with range of motion, extra therapy, and most importantly, to allow her to ride a bicycle with her family. Savannah has a disease that causes folds in her brain, what is left her with autism, speech and developmental delays, multiple seizure disorders, which limits her function to get around. So we hope you will come out and join us for these two great events on this very busy day in Colonia in memory of Joanne and support of Karen and Savannah. Going down to number 13, domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month across the world. In Woodbridge, there will be a number of events in town for the purpose of bringing awareness to the community. You will see posters in the libraries, displayed in Town Hall and Woodbridge Mall. There will also be a candlelit vigil for Woodbridge and Middlesex County victims to be held on October 11th from 6 to 7 at Sam Lupo Plaza on the grounds by the main library, health department, and Woodbridge High School. Please come out and support victims of domestic violence and their families as we shed light on domestic violence. The Woodbridge Domestic Violence Team is available for victims and survivors, as well as anyone interested in finding out how to help family and friends who may be struggling with domestic violence. They are great advocates for teenagers as well as the elderly population. Also, they are always looking for volunteers. You can reach out to the Woodbridge Domestic Violence Team at 732-634-4500, extension 2802. But if you or someone you love is in immediate danger, please call 911. Also, I would just like to give a shout out to members of Colonia Country Club that had an event last month. They raised $25,000 for the housing project that will benefit domestic violence survivors and victims, as well as the effort to break the cycle of domestic violence. So thank you to everybody from Colonia Country Club that worked really hard on this event, and for everybody that attended. It really means a lot to this group. So. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Purcell, excused. Oh, sorry. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you for not forgetting me, Council President. First, I'd like to acknowledge that in addition to October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it is also Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Month awareness. So I would like to acknowledge that the Safe Infant Sleep Birth from 0 to 12 months. This is going to be done by the SIDS organization, SCNG, and their website is www.rwjms.rutgers.edu/SIDS, and it's also on Facebook at facebook.com SIDS Center, New Jersey. What a new parent can learn, they can learn about sudden infant death. They can learn how the strategies to reduce the risk, sleep products, and all participants will receive a certificate in their participation. It's Thursday, October 6th. It's also in Spanish. You can go on these websites to register. After your registration, you will receive a confirmation email containing information about joining the webinar. If you're interested in scheduling a webinar for a group, please reach out. Evenings and weekends are available. Regarding WTYRC, I would like to acknowledge the passing of our longtime president of the WTYRC, John Galvin. He was the WTYRC president for 20 years. He was also the union VP for the Woodbridge Township Transportation Department. He was Colonia Recreation Department supervisor and Colonia Basketball treasurer, Forwards Girls Softball League, Woodbridge American Irish Club member, and a longtime umpire in Woodbridge Township. John was someone who was on the WTYRC when many of us were running leagues, and he was always a great source of information, guidance, and support. He's definitely going to be missed. There will be visiting hours at Gosselin Funeral Home this Tuesday, tomorrow, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Same with the sports. Over the weekend on Saturday, I've been advertising the Zaire Robinson 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It was moved indoors to JFK due to the weather. And this was to benefit his four-month-old son, Zane. There were 11 teams. I would like to acknowledge that My team that I selected, one of my office workers, Jared Pearson, his team ended up in the championship and pulled out the championship. And I do want to acknowledge Mayor Johnny McCormick and Brian Molnar, Abdul Salim Hassan, Jared Pearson, and Scooby Henry. Those are his two closest friends, for helping organize this tournament. While we didn't get a lot of teams, we got a tremendous amount of donations, and we were able to give $12,000 in a scholarship fund for his son, Zane. And we're looking to do this on an annual basis. It was also a great community day to see that many people come in and fill the bleachers at JFK High School, and it was all in good sport, and everyone was doing it out of the love and the legacy of Zaire Robinson. Their chant of "Long Live Z-Rob" was heard throughout the day, and Councilwoman McAuliffe also attended and stayed throughout the championship game, and she met a lot of the players, and a lot of players that knew her shop and knew who she was. And these were people that when they were teenagers, we'd see them around town, and now a lot of them are grown men, 25 through 30 years old, were playing basketball. So just want to acknowledge everybody for that. It was a great tournament. We look forward to doing it again next year. I would like to add the Geo Baker Clinics to my agenda. Geo Baker is a former Rutgers University basketball player. He's going to be doing clinics over at our new Woodbridge Club. It's going to be a great opportunity for a lot of Woodbridge youth to be trained by he would have been a pro, but he chose not to. He chose he wanted to go into the business field, and he's also going to be doing clinics on the side. And Geo Baker's chosen as he's got a very good, strong relationship with Eric LeGrand, and he's going to be making Woodbridge his home to do a lot of his business. So we're very excited about that. And I do want to acknowledge our job bank. FEMA is hiring. They're on our website. You can go there. FedEx is hiring package handlers, $17.50 an hour. New Jersey Transit is hiring. Pizza Hut that's up and running on St. George Avenue. There's also Middlesex County, our Elite Youth One-Stop Center. And Amazon, again, is offering a $1,000 sign-on bonus. So if you're out of work, please take a look at this website. Again, BASF and EISCO and Stericycle. Of course, also in the Department of Education is advertising that substitute teachers are desperately needed during this time. We're also, there are several districts that have have gotten agreement with the Department of Education for retired teachers to return to the profession. So if there are any retired teachers that are out there that would like to go back into teaching, they are looking for you out there. All right, and I also want to acknowledge that on October 12th, the Patriot Path Council for the Boy Scouts is going to be holding their annual banquet, $100 per seat. You can register online at www.ppcbsa.org/special events. It'll be at the Pines Manor. And this year we'll be honoring one of our own, and that was our former councilwoman Nancy Drum, and would like to see as many people from Woodbridge come out and support Nancy and her family as they recall her legacy. And I also want to acknowledge unfortunate passing of a young man who played football for Linden High School in the football game against Woodbridge. Xavier McLean, suffered a traumatic injury during the football game. He walked off the field, went to the sideline, and unfortunately his injury, he succumbed to his injury days later. And I do want to acknowledge also, Woodbridge Township for reaching out to Xavier's family, to the Linden School District. And I also want to acknowledge our police department because after this, there were some people that were away from this accident that did not understand the circumstances, and it caused a little social media frenzy. And I was at the game that night, and there were a lot of parents that were texting and they were a little nervous. But I will say that if we didn't have our police there, it could have gotten really bad. There were players, there were people that tried to gain entrance from Linden. There were people that came in and had made threats from Linden, and they tried to gain entrance into the game, and they were throughout the community. But you know, heard numerous stories about how this was handled very professionally. No one was injured. There were all kinds of rumors that were circulating, but I will say it was they got it under control very quickly. We did have to put the players in the locker room for an extended period of time until the situation was under control. But we had extra police on hand at that time, and I'd say Dr. Massimino, working with the other school district and our police department, I'd say that they handled that matter very, very well. So I just want to acknowledge everybody that you know, it was an unfortunate situation. Our hearts and our prayers go out to Xavier McLean and his family, but it was truly an accident, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman McCullough.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I do have a few announcements, though. Number one, events. The Fishing Derby. There is still time to sign up for this weekend's Frank Gagnon Memorial Fishing Derby held at the Woodbridge Pond located on North Park Drive. This is a free event for all individuals 16 years of age and under. Log on to the Township Community Pass and scan the QR code to register. Also, the Haunted Walk. We have the Haunted Walk, which will be held on Saturday, October 15th from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tours will begin at Tansman Park, located on Pearl Street. Tickets can be purchased in advance through Eventbrite, Haunted Woodbridge, or you can purchase tickets the day of the event, which is a cash-only event for $15. Number three, the Chamber of Commerce. On October 19th, the 58th Annual Chairman's Awards Dinner honoring individuals and businesses for their contribution and dedication to creating a better quality of life in and around Woodbridge Township will be held at the Delta Hotel. This year's honorees are all listed on the Chamber website. This is the Chamber's largest fundraiser, and there are still tickets available for the dinner and silent auction. The Chamber is also seeking journal ads and sponsorships to help support this fundraiser. For more details, log on to the Woodbridge Chamber website or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Number five, the Animal Shelter. The first annual Perfectly Spooktacular Halloween Pet Parade will be held on October 23rd. Strut your mutt or your kitty in their favorite costume down Main Street to Tansman Park. Awards, photos, and adoptions will be happening. Log on to the Woodbridge Community website and sign up through the QR code with Community Pass. Number 10, the Woodbridge Fire Department. The Woodbridge Fire Department will also be having their annual open house on Wednesday, October 12th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come out and participate in demonstrations, meet the firefighters, see the equipment, and enjoy a free magic show. We are also asking if you could please bring a non-perishable item for the We Feed program. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just two quick items. Number one, I'm noting that this evening the restaurant had reached out to me, and that deal that they had to take over their corporate officers has fallen apart. This has been on the agenda. The police and I have been working on it for quite some time, almost a year actually. So that'll be noted. And just under number 5, under elections, we have the general election coming up in November, and for those registered voters who receive mail-in ballots, those ballots were mailed out on Monday. Just a reminder to the public that we have a drop box out in front of Town Hall and a drop box out at the main library, and they'll be open until 8 o'clock on Election Day, November the 8th. We'll also have early voting at the Acacia Center, 9 days previous to the election as well. Anybody can just call my office and we'll give you further details. And then last reminder, we'll be going into the Board of Health meeting immediately after the law department's agenda. That's all I have.
Thank you. Director Hubner.
Thank you, Council President. I have 2 traffic ordinances.
Thank you. Director Doherty.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing this evening.
Director Brewer.
Thank you, Council President. I have a change order number 2 in the 2022-001 Building and Road Resurfacing Program. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Business Administrator Zaluka.
Thank you. I have a tax and sewer overpayment and a 100% disabled veteran. Thank you.
And Eagle.
Nothing this evening, Council President. Mr. President, we have with you tonight for the Board of Health meeting our new Health Director, Phil Wojciechowski, and our new Health Officer, David Kolodziejski.
Yes, thank you. Our agenda is in order. My name is Phil Wojciechowski. You all know me. Longtime township resident, proud graduate of Woodbridge High School, 1974. I've been with the Township Health Department for 40 years. Served as a chief inspector and division head for about 30 years. Served as deputy director for the last several years. So very, very proud and honored by the mayor's appointment to director of health. As previous director Dennis Green is retired, and I just want to thank Dennis for his leadership and a great job he did. And this is Dave Kolodziejski. If you want to introduce yourself, he's going to be our health officer.
Well, nice to meet everybody, and I look forward to working with you and splitting up Dennis's role with Phil, basically. And thank you for the opportunity.
Our agenda is in order. I have a very brief update on one of the items, which is our COVID responses. As you all know, we've been a COVID vaccination provider since December of 2020. Thank you for, obviously, it's the mayor's initiative and your support and us continuing that. We've conducted 159 such vaccination clinics to date. We've administered just under 18,000 COVID vaccinations. We've recently begun administering the new bivalent vaccines. Township residents have largely turned out for this. It's a very strong demand for it. And most importantly, I'm also happy and pleased to report that as the pandemic has thankfully been, the intensity of it has been lessening, we've been able to get back to fully our normal activities, pre-pandemic public health activities and services to our residents. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Phil, David, congratulations on your appointments to your positions, and special thanks to Director Green for his hard work and dedication and years of service to the township and the residents of Woodbridge Township. We can't thank you guys enough. Just please thank your staff too for your hard work during this ongoing, health crisis, and we can't thank you enough for all you do for the township of Woodbridge. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any comments?
I have a comment. I just want to thank the health department and Phil, the new initiative to do health days at the apartments throughout Woodbridge, but also it's more of a community outreach that your department has undertaken. I got to say that I'm extremely proud of it because of the good work that you do. And not only do you come out to those events with information of all of your services in English, but you also have them in Spanish. And for that, I'm grateful because we're servicing all members of our community. So thank you for the community outreach that your department has undertaken. They're doing a fabulous job, and you have my full support. Thank you.
Any other comments?
I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Everyone have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.